Kreative TV. Yo, people, what's good? What's good? I'm your boy Jazz. I'm back with another segment, reaction. Here we're talking about, well, everybody's been talking about this. This has been hitting like wildfire. All of the fact that it happened since 2024, pastor and singer Marvin Sapp. Let's go. By the way, if you like this content, all means, hit this button and subscribe. Don't make me have to beg. Now, the segment should be beginning right about now.
We all gonna leave together. Y'all ain't going no place but to the restaurant. There's 1,000 of you tonight, and those that are watching, it's 1,000 that's watching online. This is a small seed. If I get 1,000 online to give this, if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, that's $40,000 tonight. Now, everyone up here, we
the church.
But see, they used to teach
that's
faith,
always been the church. I grew up in a church. You know that offering plate that come around about two, three times now.
They said, but the Lord said, "Give what you can." He
Right.
didn't put no number on it.
Oh no,
Where
no,
in the Bible they say? He say when you tithe.
10% of your earnings now.
Yes.
10% of your earnings.
Now he will say in Malachi, I think it's through Malachi 3:8-11. He said, "Will a man rob God?" He answers the question because he already know what you're gonna do. He said, "Yeah, where would I rob you?" He said, "In tithe and in offering."
Ooh.
He said, "Bring your tithes to the storehouse, and I'll open up the windows of heaven and pour you out of blessings that you will not be able to receive." That's what he said. Now, he ain't tell these jacklegs to be coming up here talking about, hey, see, what they preaching is prosperity.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But see, that's why I'm going to go into the ministry.
Come on now, you cooking now.
Ocho.
Yeah.
Hey, Ocho.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to pass the plate around. I'm going to pass the collection plate. Now, look here. Ocho. Hey, don't put no change in the collection plate.
Yeah,
God don't like noise.
Yeah, God don't like
God
no
don't
noise.
like noise. Hey, paper.
Listen,
I need to go into the back.
Listen. Hey, you know Marvin Sapp. Now the church. That's part of the building fund. The church need new windows.
You ain't gonna tell me how much. You're not gonna tell me how much to give. Oh, he need a Rolex. Oh, he need a jet. Oh, he need a Rolls Royce. He need a Bentley.
Yeah. Oh,
he ain't gonna have a better. He ain't gonna have. If I'm working harder, he ain't gonna have a better car than me. Not that I'm donating to.
Yeah. Hey, well, one thing you got to understand now. I've never been in the pulpit. I've never been a preacher, but I do understand the work that come behind it. I do understand the studying and the hours and all the stuff that they have to go through when it comes to running the church and being a preacher. Now, I'm not gonna sit up here and preach because that's not me. I am not finna play with the Lord like that. But in the Bible,
they playing with the Lord.
Hold on, listen to me now. In the Bible, it says, God loves a cheerful giver. It doesn't tell you how much you got to give, though.
Exactly. That's my point.
That's it. Now, that's the only thing I don't agree with. Now, you ain't finna lock them goddamn doors and I got to get home and watch the basketball game because it's March Madness. Talk about something, I got to give you $1,000. Now, the devil is a lie. Now, you're going to open them doors and I'm going to give you what I can. Now, that's what's going to happen. Or we're going to have to tussle up here in this church.
Yeah, then God going to have to come down there and pull me up off you. He going to have to... He gonna have to come down up off his throne because he's the Alpha and the Omega, the man that sits high and looks low. So he know I'm gonna be tearing your tail up in that church if you lock them doors and I can't get up out of there. But I'm saying, man, come on now, Ocho, they doing too much, Ocho.
Hey, yeah,
they doing too much, man.
They're a trip. They're a trip. Hey, it's a new church. I didn't
even know pastors was a job. Because when I grew up, the pastor, he was the principal, he was a janitor, he cut hair. He wasn't no preacher full time. That wasn't the only job he had.
Right.
I swear, Ocho, I did not know that was a full-time job.
Yeah.
Chad, I mean, maybe it's just me. Maybe that was just a Southern thing. But
yeah. Hey, man.
My pastor was a teacher at the school, or he was the principal, or he was the custodian, he was the barber.
Yeah.
He did other things. He just didn't preach. Maybe that's just, I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Hey, but one thing you got to think, I'm not sure if Marvin Sapp has a mega church, but I understand what goes into it and what it entails when it comes to the overhead for a church of that magnitude with a congregation.
Well, stop building a church that big.
Yeah, listen, I don't know. I ain't never been there. I ain't never been there. But listen, one thing I do, I love some preaching, boy. I love some preaching. Grandma had me in the church, Sunday, Wednesday, Bible study. I led the choir. I was in the junior choir. I was a junior deacon. I did a little bit of everything.
I'm gonna need to see where they said that in the Bible.
It's not in there.
And they locked the doors. Now,
it's not in there.
In the Bible.
No, it's not in there. That's not in there. They rewrite their own story now.
Yeah.
We good for that.
It just goes to show you.
Yeah.
It used to be salvation was free. But ministers have found a way to charge for salvation.
Ooh.
Salvation was free.
But that's a good one, there, boy.
Man, they need to stop. Look.
That's a good one there.
And it's not the fact that it's $20. It's the fact that he's put a number on it.
Right.
You don't tell somebody what they should give. That's between them and their God.
Yes, sir.
Not between the preacher trying to get money out your pocket.
Yeah, especially during these times.
I give. I ain't got no problem giving. But he ain't gonna tell me how much to give. That ain't got nothing to do with him. That's between me. Hey, I'm gonna have to answer. No matter what you think of Shannon Sharp, Shannon's gonna have to answer for Shannon.
Yeah.
You can save one soul, your own.
Yeah.
You trying to tell me what I need to do. I'm going to have to give an account for this. I'm going to have to go before that man. And everything, he going to say, you remember this? You remember that? Man, they need to. I don't be liking that, Ocho. I don't.
You took one clip and made whatever you wanted to make out of, which was a damn lie. Because Locke is kidnapped. Close the door. And let me say this right here. And I said this on the radio show. This is what I said on the radio show. Stop lying on people. Stop talking. Look at all the blogs and all of the stories talking about he said lock the door. He didn't say no damn lock. And you're a lying dog. And you're a dog for lying.
Okay, so preacher, gospel recording artist Marvin Sapp is in some trouble right now. He was trying to collect $40,000 during an altar call from his church, and the people are not upset about it.
Yes,
now, baby,
his
listen.
story is crazy. He
Yes.
went through a lot. Got shot and everything.
Now, it's some people in this church, in the story we're talking about, that are saying that Marvin Sapp never would have made it if they were in this church, because he started asking for this money and told the ushers to lock the doors and close the doors until they collected it. Let's take a listen to him.
That's how you get shot.
His sermon.
Again.
God, yes.
There's 1,000 of you. I said close them doors. Close the doors. We all gonna lead together. There's 1,000 of you tonight, and those that are watching, it's 1,000 that's watching online. If I get 1,000 online to give this, if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, that's $40,000 tonight. I'm challenging each of you all down here to give a $20 seed. I just think $20 is a lot of money. $20, believe it or not, when my late wife Melinda P. Sapp was alive, was a good date. I could take her to the movies, buy popcorn, get one soda, 2 straws. I wasn't cheap, that's swag. I was looking in her eyes, she's looking in mine. But I need everyone standing up here with us, with me, to plant a seed of $100. Because again, it costs to sit up here. And this is what I need you to do. If you're giving electronically, or even if you're giving tangibly, I'm gonna have y'all come to the altar and give it, because I need to see 1,000 people moving. Take your phone and stick it on the bucket. Giving is worship.
That's so damn tacky.
Is that a crime? That's a crime. Like, how you gonna hold us hostage until we give you $100
You're
or
right.
$20?
Ushers lock the door.
Yo,
That has absolutely
crazy.
nothing to do with God. I mean, and first of all, what if the congregation don't got it? What if some of them there because they
that's
looking for a
it.
blessing? They tell you give 2% of what you got. What if you ain't got nothing?
Yes, 100%.
But that's why people look at the church the way that they look at the church.
Don't blame that on the church.
But
Blame
that's
that
how-
on Marvin.
But that's how people look at the church.
No,
They
but
feel like
for
every
real.
church is like that. They feel like they say, come as you are, and if I come broke, and you say you're not going to let me go unless I put my phone on the bucket.
And what bill Marvin Sapp got that he's trying to catch up on? You got to tell me what this money
I
for.
have no
40
idea.
grand?
I'm like, Yeah, like, because it's tax time. I don't know if he backed up, if he in debt or anything, but this is crazy.
But it's from a year ago, though, right?
I was about to say, this is actually from July of 2024, but it just went re-viral again because, churches do the online sermons now, so the video is out there online of the full church service, and it just went re-viral again with people taking issue to it. Now,
re-viral better be a real word, Lauren.
I said went viral again.
You said re-viral.
You didn't say re-viral. You didn't say
You said it
re-viral.
twice. You doubled down on that re-viral.
Well, re-viral, revival, whatever. The church is getting into me. I'm feeling the gospel over here. Well, it went so viral again that he had to. I don't think it went viral the first time. It went viral this time again. It went viral this time to the point where Marvin Sapp had to actually come out and add some context. So he says, let's add context to this clip on social media. Recently, this clip has gone viral, me challenging 2,000 individuals virtually and in person to plant a seed of $20 during an international gathering held at the convention center with over 4,000 people in attendance that evening, plus the virtual viewers. In that same moment, I also challenged the leadership to lead by example by sowing $100 apiece. That evening, I personally gave much more because he talked about having to pay $2,000 to renew his ability to lead the church and the money he gave right before he went into this. He says, now some have taken issue with the particular moment when I instructed the ushers rather firmly to close the doors during the offering. To those unfamiliar with the church context or who may not regularly attend worship gatherings, this has been misinterpreted as holding people hostage as well as offensive.
Oh, damn.
That was never my intent. And y'all know when the pastors be praying at the end of the church and they be like, sit down, don't leave yet, we not done. That's different than close the doors.
By the way, you already feel like you're being held hostage in a long church service anyway.
Especially black church.
Now you want to close the doors? No.
Especially black church. You're there from like 8 to like 4.
So where did the number 40,000 come from?
Because of the number of people there.
The number of people, because he asked for $20.
20,000.
Yeah,
for 2,000 people. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, so $20, 1,000 people in person, 1,000 people
2,000
online,
people,
and then
$20, $40,
and then he told
$40,000.
everybody, if you up here with me in the pulpit, baby, it pay to play.
100.
You better pay to play. $100. Put that.
So that's the VIP.
That's
Pulpit is the VIP.
VIP.
You
They got to wait in line.
Premium bottles up here.
Okay, all right.
But
You asking for all that money, you got to do more than preaching, though. You got to do more than be preaching. Ain't no fish fry, ain't no water being turned to wine. You're not going to perform, never would have made it. Something got to happen.
Yeah.
For a $20 cover
Remember
charge.
they used to have the dinners after the church?
Yes.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Had somebody cooking or something because everybody be sitting there so long they be hungry.
Well, no.
So
Sorry to cut you off, Jess, but he was saying.
No, you're not. That's
Shut up. He was saying that after this church service, he said, don't rush out of here. We ain't going nowhere but to the restaurant after. So they wasn't serving food. He knew people wanted to eat after.
You can't spend all that money and not have no food on deck. Like, that's the least. I would be like, yo, $20, all you can eat afterwards. You know, Shirley, them in the back, they got the baked chicken, the fried chicken, everything you want.
But then he got to pay for the food. Then he's really not making the money that he needs for whatever
And
he needs the
Marvin
money
Sapp
for.
got money, man. Let me look up Marvin Sapp.
He said that he did this because anytime finances are being received in a worship gathering, it's one of the most vulnerable and exposed time for both the people who have to finance and the security teams. Movement during the sacred exchange can be distracting at times and even risky. So his directive was not about control. It was about creating a safe, focused, and reverent environment for those choosing to give and for those handling the resources. And unfortunately, in this social media age, snippets are easily shared without context and assumptions are quickly made without understanding the full pictures.
Oh, by the way,
it was a conference.
Marvin Sapp got a $4 million net worth. I totally understand the context. I don't like it. I've been to churches that have done stuff like this. I've been to mosques that have done stuff like this.
You been to church where they said lock the doors?
Not lock the doors, but basically, like, you know, who got the first $1,000? Who got the first $100?
Like an auction?
Like, yeah, it's like forcing people to probably spend money that they don't have. And then, you know, when you're doing it under the guise of God, I don't like that because people feel like they have to do that because, you know, God wants them to do it. Like, no.
That is crazy.
Like don't lock me in. Like, if I didn't have it when the door was unlocked, I'm not going to have it when you lock the doors.
Exactly.
So, weird.
Jess said, now you lock the doors and it rained down on me.
This is hilarious. Okay, so what you have here, this incident took place, what she said, back in July of 2024. This incident happened. So anyway, what you have here is called prosperity preaching, prosperity gospel, word of faith, whatever you want to call it. It basically talks about the belief that the preacher believes that his people should be able to live well. That is God's will, that you be prosperous, healthy, and stable, because that's, you know, the will of God and his favor in you. But at the same time, you know, prosperity preaching word of faith, they neglect the very harshness of life that you are going to endure financial hardships. You're going to endure long suffering, and you're going to have to face some humility. So they leave that out. So this life is supposed to be about, well, God says that I come that you might have life and that more abundantly, which is true. But at the same time, God also wants to teach his people that you have to do some suffering. Because if everything is just handed in, then how will you be able to learn in life that you are going to face hardships? This is the very thing that these preachers neglect and leave out, that they don't tell their flock, that you are going to have hardships. Now, I'm not going against Marvin Sapp about what he said about giving. Nothing wrong with giving. But if people don't have to give, then it's considered sacrificial. People have to consider the lights. People have to consider if the kids haven't eaten. All these things you have to consider. So now God says, bless those that give and those that don't have it. Then how do you explain them? What about them? What if they don't have it? And to, shut the doors, okay? My goodness. You are, even though he didn't say it directly, but you are holding people hostage when you say shut the doors, because now the ushers are standing there and you can't go anywhere. So yeah, you did hold them hostage only until you made sure that you got the money that you wanted, 40,000. People have turned the Church of God into a place of business and not even concerned about people's financial means, because they feel that this is what you have to go through in order for God to bless you. But at the same time, God still says you have to suffer. It's a part of life. You can't dodge that. It's a part of life. You're going to go through trials. You're going to go through hardships. You're going to go through financial burdens, because it is what Christ went through. When you think about Christian, this is what you have to go through. These prosperity preachers, they leave it out, and they turn the house of God into a place of business. Think about this. Matthew, when they cast lots, what did Jesus say? He said, behold, you've turned my father's house into a den of thieves. And then the scripture goes on and says, he woke them out of the Sanhedrin. The church, I apologize. So you have to consider the people that, nothing wrong with giving. Again, 10%, nothing wrong with giving it. But bless those that give and bless those that don't have. To pretty much keep people in there. And again, even though he didn't say lock the doors, he says close the doors. No traffic is coming in and out anyway, because you have to stay there. I totally disagree with that. He didn't give people the free will to give. And then he did not mention not once about those that didn't have. How do you explain them? The hardships. How do you explain these things? Nothing wrong with prosperity preaching, again, but you have to consider the other side, that if you don't have it, then what do you do? If these financial burdens and struggles do take place in your life, then how do you deal? Something to think about, people. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like this, by all means, leave a comment below. Until then, I'm your boy Jazz, signing off. Peace. Kreative TV.